Hello everyone, this is Andrea Tonelli. Welcome to a new episode of Inside the Song. Last week you had a bit of work cut out for you with those stretches on the pentatonic scale. And so today's going to be a very easy lesson, but still I think very interesting. For those of you who are new to this series, every week I take one of my songs and use just a little bit of it to teach you a little something about songwriting, about maybe music theory or guitar technique. And today is all about something that I really enjoy doing, which is taking stuff that's really simple and making it sound complicated, or as the case is today, something that's quite complicated and make it sound extremely simple. So simple, in fact, that hopefully it becomes transparent. The song in question today is from 2016's album Lights and Shadows, and it's called Waiting for You. And before we go any further, let me just play a little bit of it for you, and then we'll go ahead and analyze it. Now, unless you were tipped off by the title of this video and counted the beats on these excerpts, you might be wondering what's so strange about this, because really it sounds completely smooth. But if you did count them, you realize that these measures are made up of 10 beats. So it's a 10/4 measure. And 10/4 is not like a revolutionary time signature, but it's certainly strange and unusual. And usually unusual time signatures are quite obvious. So if you play 5/4, 7/4, they're quite obvious rhythmic balances. But for this one, I really wanted to make it as smooth as possible, and I wanted it to become transparent. So I'm going to show you a few tricks that I use to make it sound so normal and regular. So the first thing I did, and this tip, of course, like all the other tips in today's video, will work with any unusual time signature. I try not to stick to the perceived accents of the time signature. So for example, if you're in 5/4, it tends to be, of course, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, right? And then you can divide it maybe 3 plus 2, so it will be 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, right? Or 7/4, it could be 3 plus 4, or 2 plus 3 plus 2. There's all kinds of different subdivisions, but they're quite clear. So my advice, if you want to hide it, is not to be so specific. And here's basically what I'm doing. The first beat, which is usually the strong beat, I just have a little, kind of like a pickup note, and it's on the bass. I just do that, right? And then I play, and that takes me to the end of 3, right? So I'm playing like this. I'm playing dun dun da 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 da. Right? So you hear all my beginnings of the phrases, they're usually somewhere strange and weak. They're in the end of a beat. And so that fools your ear into thinking that the center of the measure is shifting. And so, but it's not a strong shift. So it's kind of a subtle thing. And it's hard to explain, but you'll hear it if you play the song again. There's a link, of course, down here if you want to listen to all of it. And the fact that I'm not hitting the perceived strong beats makes it work and makes it become transparent. So you see, it sounds pretty normal, and it's really hard to pinpoint exactly what and where the timing shifts towards an unusual time signature of 10/4 instead of staying in their usual 4/4. It really does feel like a 4/4. The other thing I'm doing, and that you can use, is to play everything in kind of the same register. So there's not a big difference between any of the sections. So when I played, you see how all the chords kind of fall into each other, right? And so that again, it makes it all smooth and it makes it all kind of on the same level, and it makes it harder for you to really pick out where the measure begins and ends. And finally, what I do is pretty soon I let the 10/4 fall back to 4/4. But I don't know if you can call this a tip, because usually when you do that, it kind of emphasizes the unusualness of the original time signature. But in this case, because it's so smooth, I can fall back to 4/4 and then work my way back to 10/4, and you basically don't hear it. So I start on 10/4. And this is only the second part. And this is 4/4. Right? It's da 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 da. 2 measures of 4s. And from here I can go straight back to 10/4. 2, 3. And I'm back on 10. And you barely notice it. And so that's kind of cool. It doesn't mean you have to do this every time you have unusual time signatures. You know, sometimes the fun of unusual time signatures is to hear them. But in this case, I wanted to write a kind of like a bluesy, kind of soulful song, and I thought that if the time signature became too obvious, it would kind of detract from it. You know, it would make it sound too, I don't know, experimental, and I didn't want that to happen, so it's very well hidden. I hope you found this interesting and useful, and if you did, please consider subscribing and hit the bell if you don't want to miss any new content. And if you could like and comment, it would certainly help the channel out a lot to reach more people and maybe help them out. Thank you very much again for watching, and I'll see you very soon. Bye-bye.